Hey everybody, it's Sam here. Thank you for watching. So today I'm going to show you how to use my new wax seal stamp kit. So I've recently just launched this, and as with all my launches, I like to do a YouTube video so that you've got a reference video on how everything works. So if you've been following me over on my Mixed Up Craft channel, I have shared a wax stamping technique video before, and there's loads of different techniques in there, so I'm going to link that one up here because it's a really good video. So if you've bought this kit, use that as a reference as well as what I'm going to show you today, and hopefully you've got lots of inspiration. So this is the kit here, along with some other bits as well. You'll see doubles because this is my sample one to show you all, and then I've obviously got the bits that I'm using. But in the kit you get your candle, your oven or your stove burner, your spoon, you get a little glass jar here full of 3 different coloured beads, and you get your wax seal here which says Happy Mail on it. So this is the Happy Mail wax kit. Then I also launched 3 other stamps. So you have the All Occasions set here, and in here you have another handle, and on this one you have You Did It, Happy Birthday, and Big Thanks. And I'll show you some examples of those in a moment. You also have a cooling plate, so you can use this if you want to make lots of different wax seals beforehand and keep them stored, and then they're ready for when you need them. And you can create some other nice effects with this as well. And then there's 3 other bead mixes. So these are wax beads. You've got your pink mix, your green mix, and your metallic mix. For the samples today, I'm just going to focus on the green and the pink mix. The metallic mix will be in a separate video. So I've got my candle here already lit, and I'm going to pop my stove little oven over the top there, and I'm going to pop the spoon on top there just so that can start to get a bit warm. So I've made my envelopes using this lovely paper pad, Sunshine paper pad by Simply Made Crafts. This is designed by Helen. I've made mine to 5x7 because I know I'm going to use that size, but you know, any size envelopes, this is just a nice way to finish them off. I'm all about the finishing touches. You would have heard me say it a lot. We spend all that time making beautiful cards. I think it's really nice to put them in a special envelope as well. Now, of course, wax seals going through the post are more than likely going to get damaged. What I would recommend you doing is, once you've made up the card, if you're making my kind of cards, they're always dimensional anyway, so they will go in a box envelope, and maybe pop that in a padded envelope as well so it's all protected, or hand deliver them. But then also, saying that, I have received cards from people with wax seals on them and they've just sent it through the general post. So you can do it, but there is also that risk that it might not survive. My spoon is nice and warm there. Now, to start off, you're always going to find you use a few more beads than you would for every wax seal after that, because you've got a clean spoon. There's nothing in it at all. I'm going to start off with 6. But you'll find 4 to 5 will usually be enough, but I'm going to use 6 just to get that started, because when you pour it, you're always going to have some left in the spoon, so you won't get all of that wax that you melt onto your cardstock. So give that a minute to melt. Initially, when it's a cold spoon, you've just turned everything on, it's probably going to take a good 4 to 5 minutes to really warm up, but then you'll find if you're making a lot of them, you know, it's going to melt pretty instantly. I'll just show you here. This is my little box of goodies. So in here I've just been playing around with all different techniques, and I'm going to show some of these now today. I love this one here. It's one of my favourites. It's with the glitter. I've used some gilding flakes there. That's using the metallic, so I'll show you that in another video. Although I might use some gilding flakes today. Most of them it's just plain. It's just showing you how they stamp. I popped some foam on the back because you can lift them up. And like I said, they do make nice little embellishments on your cards as well. So don't always look at them as sealing your envelopes. You can use them in other ways as well. You can see the You Did It there with the white, the Big Thanks again there, and the purple. And you can mix the colours as well. So these, I've mixed a few. I mixed yellow and green into that one there. Played around with the bit on the back. So I'm going to share a few of those techniques today. Okay, so that's all melted nicely. And then I'm just going to remove some of the bubbles. The bubbles will appear for all kinds of reasons. If the wax is too hot, it will start to bubble, but also the way you may have stacked the beads in and the way they've just kind of melted down might have created a little air pocket as well. But having the bubbles in your wax seal, it's not the end of the world. It does look, you know, it can look really nice, but I think more of the solid colours, when you remove them, I think it does give a nicer finish. So they're all ready. So we're going to flip this over now. I want to use these envelopes, so if I was to pop my wax right over this now, then it's sealed shut and I'm not going to be able to use it. So if you have a silicone mat, maybe cut a little bit down if it's an old one, or use some parchment paper, greaseproof paper, and that's going to stop anything sticking. So I'm going to lay this down underneath and then close that. So you want to make sure you've got your wax seal ready. So I've got my 3 here. So I'm just going to use the happy birthday on this one here. Now, because they've got a script, when you're stamping directly onto your envelope, you want to make sure you've got it the right way up. So I'm just going to mark the top here, like so. There we go. But if I was just making a batch of them and I was stamping them onto the cooling plate there, it wouldn't matter because you just peel them off and then you can move them around. But this, I need to make sure it's the right way up. So now I'm just going to pour this over the envelope. Like so. Put that back on there, and then just slowly position your wax seal and then just push all of the wax out. And as you push it down, I can see I've got a little bubble there. I'm just going to pop that one, and if the wax is still hot, it will carry on moving and melting. Yeah, it's almost disappeared. I'm happy with that. I would usually say maybe 15 seconds, 30 seconds, depends how thick it is, how many beads you've used. You'll know. I mean, right now that's not wanting to come off yet. It's lifting all this, but it's not actually falling off. When you're waiting for this, if this starts to smoke, just take it off and just let it rest on your cooling mat there for a minute. So now, straight away, that just pulls away. Now, just want to make sure that kind of thicker part is dry, but this should just come off quite easily, like so. Now, you'd imagine it would be sealed like this. But all I need to do now is when I do go to use this, I can just add a bit of double-sided tape there or a little bead of glue, and that will all stick down onto the envelope there. Isn't that lovely? Finishing touch on your envelopes. It will look a bit shiny, but these are matte finish as well. The metallics have a shine to them, but these have a matte finish. It's picking it up there for you. Okay, so that's just the simplest way to use a wax seal. So next, let's add some glitter. So I'm going to use this design next. Now, I don't want to get rid of this yet. I'm going to actually just mix in some red to try and get this kind of dark pink colour here. So I'm just going to take a few beads. The wax that's already melted in that spoon is about a bead's worth of wax. This is why I said at the beginning, you'll find you'll need less each time you make a wax seal. So I'm going to add 4. And I think those 4, once it's mixed with that pink, will just give me this kind of darker colour. And for the glitter, I think I'm going to use this mix here, which is by Cosmic Shimmer. It's the holographic glitter bits, and this is Blush Haze. And I think that's going to complement this design really nicely. So again, I'm just going to flip this one over, pop that underneath. I'm just going to keep it weighted down there with that one. If you ever get anything on your plate, like there's a bit of dried wax there, that will just come off. And if you want to, I don't know, maybe it's got some glue on it, maybe you've been experimenting and you might have used some alcohol inks and things like that, then you can just spritz it with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. Just do it off camera there, but just a little bit on top, and then just use a rag till it's squeaky clean. Sorry if that annoys anybody. And that's all ready to use again. So it's all really easy to clean, and I'll show you how to clean up your spoon and the oven and everything towards the end. So in terms of the sentiment, I think for this one I'm going to have big thanks. So you just unscrew the stamp there, and then you just screw on the next one. This will also fit any existing stamps you might have. It's a pretty universal handle, so it should fit your other stamps that you've already purchased. So big thanks. I love this one. I just love the font with the little heart on it. I think it's very cute. So if I just bring this, turn it slightly, there we go. Can you see the way that's all melting? It looks like a dessert. It looks like some really nice tasty yogurt. Now, you could mix that more if you want, but I find that when you pour it, you can move the spoon as you're pouring it out, and that will create a nice design. But because I want to, and I'll do that in another technique, but because I want to mix this so it's a darker colour, I'm just going to mix this all up now. I think that's a pretty good match. I'm just using some paper towel there and just wipe straight off. So I've got my stamp already there. Again, I'm just going to mark the top of this, like so. I've got my glitter already open because you want to sprinkle that on when it's still hot. So again, just pour this out. Just much of it out as possible. And then I'm just going to take a pinch of the glitter and just put that on top. And then I'm going to take my stamp, make sure it's the right way up, and again, just slowly let all that wax push out. Just leave that there for a second. Okay, so I think that's cool. So again, just take that straight off. I've gone a little bit wonky for some reason, but it still looks really good. And then just carefully peel that all off. And if I bring that up so it catches the light, you can hopefully see. Trying to get the big thanks. You can see it. There we go. There we go. You can just see it there. But look at the sparkle. You can see it a lot more in person. I mean, it's pretty much up the right way. It's just slightly off to the left. There we go. Hopefully you see that there. Really, really cool. I love adding the glitter. And again, that's all ready for me to be able to just attach when I'm ready to use it. Okay, so now I don't want to use this colour anymore, but I don't want to waste this wax. I'm just using the end of my ruler here, and I'm going to scrape that out while it's still nice and hot and dump it down onto my cooling plate and just let that all set together. And then I'm just going to take my kitchen roll here and just push that in. Because it's thick, the paper towel, and it's not burning me at all. And then if you've got any on the end of your ruler, you can just take that straight off. So then you can just pop that off and pop it back into your jar. So there really is little waste. And then use that, I've been calling them my starter, for when you go to use red the next time. Pop that in and then 4 beads, and you've already got that there. So I'm going to, so you can see already I've got my starter. So that was left over from when I made all those other wax seals. So I'm going to drop that one in now, and then I'm just going to add another 4 like so. So just let those all melt. I'm going to use, for this one, I'm going to use the Happy Birthday stamp, and I'm going to use a dark green glitter, and we're going to mix it in the wax. So I've shown you how you can just sprinkle it onto your poured wax. This time we're going to mix it in. So that is pretty much melted. Again, I'm just going to remove any visible bubbles there. To be honest, how much you add is up to you. I'm just going to add that much. Mix it up. Now, the other good thing about this is, if you're pouring it onto your cooling mat and you stamp it all and you're not happy with it, you can put it straight back into the spoon again and just let it melt and then stamp it again. So I actually like making them ahead of time for that reason, because there's nothing worse than, you know, if I didn't have this wax paper here and I stamped it all on shut and it didn't work, it's difficult to salvage without tearing and ripping the paper. So something to bear in mind. You may want to do them beforehand, or even like this, because you could still peel it off this top bit and it's a little bit easier to fix. So that's all mixed in there. So again, I'm going to pour this now out like so, and then again, make sure it's the right way up. Just leave that for a second. Again, just check it, it's not quite ready yet. As you can see, it's, oh no, there we go, it's just popped out. Perfect. But just carefully peel off this in case these are still quite wet. There we go. How lovely is that? So can you see the glitter coming through, but it's all encapsulated. So it still does glitter, but it's a lot more subtle, but a really nice effect. I love the green against the papers there. I think it looks lovely. So again, I've still got a good amount of wax in there. What I'm going to do this time is mix in some blue. So I'm going to add 3 blue beads and 1 yellow. Let's see, I've not done that before. I've done the yellow and green, which I actually just mixed it all together. And I think it was that one there. Yeah, this one behind. We'll leave that like that, and we'll do this one on the cooling plate, and then I'll attach it to the card. So again, I can show you that way as well. So for the sentiment for this one, let's use You Did It. I've not done that one yet. Okay, so that's all melted, and I've got a little bit of the glitter in it, but that's fine, I don't mind that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm not going to mix that. I'm going to now pour it and move it around, and you'll just see all the different colours. They will just move and do their own thing. And then we'll take this one here You did it. And just place that down. Pop that little bubble, oh, just there. And it will cure very quick already. I could feel it as I pushed it down. It had already, you know, pretty much set. If I just bring that up there. How cool is that? So you can see there, I'm not actually happy with that. I don't like it. So I'm just going to lift it off. And I know I'm going to lose probably the swirls. Can you see the lovely design you get when it all mixes together? There we go. But I'm going to just drop that back in again. So just sit the whole thing in, like so. Shouldn't take any time at all to melt back down again. And what I might do, just to have a bit of a contrast, is just drop in a yellow one. Oh. Okay, that's melted down quite nicely. So let's try this. And then again. That looks much better. And it is, like I said, almost instant. There we go. You did it. Isn't that cute? So it hasn't got the yellow as defined as I wanted, but at least I've shown you how to mix and like that first pour how it looked. But it's also nice to show you that you can just pop them straight back in again and melt them back down. I'm really pleased with that one. I think it looks lovely. And how you can change the colours as well. So that's why we've called it the green mix, the pink mix, because you can just create different shades of those colours. So now if you then, so say you've made all these and now it's, you know, a few weeks later and you want to use this on your envelope, what I would do is just, you can either add a very small amount of warm wax onto there, but what you don't want to do is re-melt this. So I always just use a little bit of tape. I'm going to use a tiny bit of the red tape here because this is nice and strong. You could use a foam pad, as I've shown on the back of some of them as well. It makes it easy for the recipient to be able to keep it because they can just peel that off, but they can do that still with this as well. And then just take off the backing there. And now I can just stick that over the top. And then you'd add your tape as normal or glue onto the inside there to seal it. But you can see how easy that does attach itself. And then again, I'm not going to waste any of this. So I'm just going to take my ruler, just scrape that out. So another nice technique is to use ribbon, string, twine, whatever it might be. I've got these ones here that Craft Stash sent me to use with this launch. And these are the Craft Perfect ones. So these are by Tonic Studio. They've got all kinds of different colours, and I'm sure you've got lots of things like this in your stash. But I thought I'd use yellow with yellow wax beads and maybe add a little bit of gold gilding flakes. So we'll have a little bit of shine. So I've got my spoon just warming up there. Take all that off. So I'm just going to add in. So let's add in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to add that extra 5th one. In fact, I think I'm going to add 6 because I'm adding this is going to be going over some string. You probably find you want it a bit thicker. I mainly do this at Christmas. I do have a tutorial actually showing you how I finished my Christmas cards, I think I called it, and you see me doing this, so you can always look at that one as well. So I'm going to wrap this around, and then I'm going to twist it and then come back around again. So I want this to tie with a nice little bow at the top. So this is going to seal the envelope up, but if I carefully just pull that side bit off, I'll still be able to open the back of it. So I should hopefully still be able to use this. So I'm just going to tie a knot up there. I just want to leave the ends. I'm going to have them both coming off up here because I'm going to tie a bow. Now what I want to do is stamp the wax seal kind of into this space, but I want the wax to all go up and set all amongst the string there. I think sentiment wise I'm going to use big thanks because I do send a lot of thank you cards, and that's half the reason why I wanted that stamp. And then I've got my tub here filled with gilding flakes, and I'm just going to take, you don't need a lot, I'm just going to take out, I've got gold, silver and rose gold all mixed. I'm just going to take out, I just want a little bit of gold, I don't need much at all. Okay, and I'm just going to break them down into small pieces. I only need a few. So I've got the little bit of gilding flakes ready to go. The wax is all ready. That's the right way up. Okay, so I'm going to pour this up into this corner. So, I'm then going to drop some of the gold leaf into the hot wax there. There we go. And then I'm going to stamp this and let the wax go wherever it feels it needs to. There we go. Oh, it's come out really nice. Bring that up. There we go. Big thanks. And you've got that lovely pop of gold that shines through. This is still quite wet, so I'm just going to let that set, and then I'm going to tie a bow in that corner. So again, whilst that's cooling, I want to keep this yellow because it's just a solid colour. So again, just dump that out. Let that cool. I've cut way too much string, but I'm just going to tie a cute little bow. You could have some charms hanging down. How cute is that? You've still got space to write their name. Pop some stamps there if you want to. I think that's very, very cute. So for the last envelope, I'm going to cut this sunshine out here. This is one of the sheets in that paper pad. I've also cut these out as well, just to give you another example. So you might have some nice dried flowers, die cuts, anything that the wax can grab to will be able to stick onto the envelope. It's obviously just going to, you know, create more dimension depending on what you use, but they would look quite nice, and you could have the wax seal. But as I was cutting them, I then saw this and I thought that fits the wax seal and everything. It's just gonna look lovely. So then I thought it'd be nice to try and get as close to this orange color. So for the last one, we're going to use some of the pink, and I'm going to pop one of the red in. So 1 red, 2 pink, and 2 yellow. Let's see if we can get this orange color. Okay, it's going to take a bit more yellow to get it to the orange that I want. I clearly, you know, didn't plan that very well. But anyway, we're not going to waste any of that. And it's actually a pretty good match to this pinky colour here. So I've stuck the sun down. I'm still going to use the wax on here in case anything oozes over. And then I'm just going to just pour that all out there. And then again, try and get it in the centre, but again, you're not looking for perfect because every wax seal will be different. So I can take that away. And already I can feel, yeah, it's come off straight away. That looks really nice. Again, not going to waste that. I'm going to dump that out onto here. And then to clean it up, you just want to lift that off. Blow your candle out, that will just solidify and you'll be able to use that again. And then to clean the spoon, just the same way, so just give it a good rub on the back and then let that completely cool. Just sit it on your cooling plate there, and then I'm just going to just carefully rub off any kind of drips and excess that may have stuck onto the top there. So I'll just run back through those techniques that I showed. So that's where I just sprinkled the glitter on the top with the big thanks there. I think that looks really cool. Then again, using the glitter, but this time I mixed it in with the wax, so it's more encapsulated, but it still creates a really lovely effect. This one here, I guess showing you really how easy it is to remelt your wax seal again if you're not happy with it. But it still was like a slightly marbled effect on that one. This one here was just the simple way to use it. So just using one colour and pouring that out onto your envelope. This one here, using the string, love this, and the gilding flakes inside there in the middle. I think it looks really cool. Ooh. And then lastly was just adding other like die cuts and things like that to your envelopes. So I hope that's given you some ideas and just shows you how to use this kit. Like I said, do check out that other tutorial as well, because it's a bit older, but I do show, I think I use like feathers and all kinds of bits and bobs. I haven't actually watched it for a while, so I can't remember exactly, but have a little look at that. And like I said, if you want to just sit down one afternoon and just make lots of wax seals so you've got them ready to use, they're just so much fun to make. Again, you can see the glittery one there, and the that was using the metallics with the gilding flakes, so it's really shiny. Lots and lots of fun. So I hope you enjoy it if you've got the kit as well. If you've got any questions, just drop them in the comments, or you can send me a private message on Facebook as well, and my email is in the description box below this video, as is all of the product that I've used today. And again, popping up now, I have those tutorials, so the wax seal one and the Christmas one as well. If you've enjoyed today, please give me a thumbs up. It really does help out the channel, and I'll be back again very soon. Take care. Bye.